Ben Mitchell, Max Bowden, is struggling to know what to do about going to the police in EastEnders, and a word of warning from Jay Brown, Jamie Borthwick, unsettles him into a decision. But Kathy Beale, Gillian Tailforth, will not give up seeking justice against Lewis, Aidan O'Callaghan, but he is prepared to wreck her family even more. Meanwhile, tensions mount for Sam Mitchell, Kim Metcalf, and Kat Slater, Jesse Wallace, when they come under attack again. Monday, June 13th. Kathy fusses over Ben as he begins to have doubts about reporting Lewis. Outside, Ben watches on as Lewis and Callum have a seemingly close conversation. Jay senses Ben's mood, and having had enough of being blamed for what happened with Lewis, Ben tells Jay that Lewis raped him. The pair talk about the incident, and Jay inadvertently puts doubts in Ben's mind about going to the police. Kathy takes Ben to the station, but before they get there, Ben changes his mind, worried the police won't believe him. Ben later sends a message to Lewis asking to meet him. Vi suggests Stuart should look after Roland for a few hours, and at the cafe, Chelsea can see Stuart is struggling and suggests they go for a drink. Chelsea shares some advice with Stuart. Elsewhere, Bobby offers to do an extra shift at Walford East and seeks relationship advice from Rocky. Kat visits Phil in prison and has a suggestion for Peggy's. Meanwhile, things are off to a bad start for Sam as she takes over the club. After firing Vinny, Sam riles Dottie, and Dottie tries to get her own back, only for Dottie to be fired too. Tuesday, June 14th. Lewis is riled when Kathy fires him from his job at the Albert after what he did to Ben. Meanwhile, crowbar in hand, Ben waits for Lewis at the Arches, but when he's a no-show, storms over to the Albert and demands that Kathy tells him where Lewis lives. Seeing red and believing Kathy is protecting Lewis, Ben struggles to keep his rage in check, but Jay spots the commotion. Fuming at what Kathy did, Lewis retaliates and tells Peter that Ben is the one who attacked him. Kat and Sharon learn that Dottie and Vinny were fired by Sam and quickly get their own back. At Peggy's, Sam is confused when Dottie hands her a package. Things remain awkward between Bobby and Dana at Walford East. After an incident with a customer, Peter and Dana have a heart-to-heart. Wednesday, June 15th. Kathy is stunned when a drunk and enraged Peter tells her he knows it was Ben who attacked him. Wanting Kathy to prove her loyalty to him, he asks her to report Ben to the police. Dana covers for Peter when Kathy tries to find him, and Dana later finds a touching gift from Bobby, but assumes it's from Peter. Dana later goes to find Peter and misreads the situation, leaning in for a kiss. After some encouragement from Eve, Stacy asks Garrett out on a date, which he accepts, but their conversation is cut short when he gets a work call. Sam and Kat are horrified when a brick is thrown through the cab office window. Sam goes to visit Phil to fill him in, but he can tell she has an ulterior motive. Thursday, June 16th. At Peggy's, Sharon warns Zach about the way Nancy has been treating him, but he's having none of it and storms off. Zach tells Nancy he's selling his beloved car to try and raise some funds for their business, but Nancy is less than impressed, leaving Zach at a loss. Back at Peggy's, Sam winds up Sharon about having an emotional affair with Phil behind Kat's back. Sam plans to tell Kat, but Sharon warns her that Sam will be the one worse off. Later in the club, Zach and Sam drown their sorrows. Garrett suggests he and Stacy grab a coffee, but his plans change when he spots Ron Veer in the square. At home, Garrett tries to blag his way through an unexpected meeting with his uncle, but the subject changes when Ron Veer insists on finding Garrett a wife. Garrett isn't happy that Suki agrees to the idea and heads off to see Stacy.